Thank you and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining up. Today we're going to be doing this great birch in a forest painting. And I wonder if you could put out your paints now. I have red, yellow, blue, 3 whites and a black.
Which blue are we looking for? Which blue are we looking for?
Red, yellow, blue, white, 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 black.
I've used Windsor blue, it's called.
Any blue that you like.
Okay.
Okay, once you have that, I'm going to just wet my brush and dip into the blue and start putting the blue on as a background. And I will put blue from the top to about 1/3 down.
Okay.
What
kind of brush do you recommend using?
ask you to please type in the chat and I will answer questions at 12 o'clock. Any blue will be fine. I am using a 1/2" brush, but it depends on your canvas. So as long as you can get it onto the canvas, we're doing well. If you wish, you can go around the sides as well. Having paint on your fingers is optional.
Thanks.
So Valerie, we have a question in the chat asking if we will need a hair dryer.
Yes, we do. And we need it right now. Thank you for asking.
Perfect.
You can wash your brush if you're done. You can keep using that brush or switch brushes to a smaller brush if you wish.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Okay. Now what we will do is add the forest foliage. So I think we'll start with the red, and it would be nice to spread that around so that, actually, let me rephrase that. I think we'll do the bottom first and then do the foliage. So I am going to mix my blue with some of the yellow. And make a nice green, a little darker green. And then cover the bottom with the dark green. There. So basically what we're going to be doing throughout the painting is layering. So we're doing the background right now, and then after that we will put on the foliage, and after that we will put on the birch trees. We'll leave all the details for the very end. I had to make a little bit more of the green. I mixed some more, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit on the dark side here. And once again, when you're done, you can go around the sides if you wish. There's something so very satisfying about painting. And now for the hair dryer. Perfect. So now I am going to start putting in the foliage.
Can you wait a little bit? I'm still trying to cover. I found that the paint doesn't spread that well on the canvas.
Okay. I realize that everybody has to go at a different pace, and that's quite okay.
Thank you.
I will start with the red. Now you can use a flat brush or a round brush, and they are just basically dabs. So, and it's going to take us a couple of coats to make it really stand out. I am putting this red into my center of interest area because this is where I want people to look when they look at the painting first. So I'm doing it here with a flat brush, or I can take a round brush.
You're just kind of dabbing, right?
Just dabbing. This is the art of dabbing.
I'm still doing my green.
It's okay, it's okay. Don't feel pressure, just go at your own pace. This is not an exact science, so you play it by ear. And we are going to have to repaint the red again when it dries.
Did you leave a special space for where the birch comes?
No, we don't. We just put it on right over.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that part at all. I know I put pencil and eraser on your materials list, but somehow we're not going to be using those. Okay, at this time, I think what we'll do is mix more yellow into that green that we created for the lower half of the painting. And we dab some of the green into the forest. Make a nice yellowy green and keep it lighter than the dark green.
So is this now sort of a third green then?
It's a leaf green.
Okay,
I know there are a million colors of leaf green,
right.
but
You've made,
Just- it's
first
light.
okay.
If you have finished the lighter green, you could go a little darker and then a little darker green and do some little dots along the bottom. We're going to layer this area, so you could even add some of the dark blue. That's okay too, because it will be layered. I thought we might as well do this now because we have green on our brush. On the left side, you could add some of the darker blue on top of your green. Are there any questions right now? When you have finished that, then we can blow it dry. Now, I think we could make a little bit of orange and have that on. For that, we will mix some of the yellow with the red and have some orange areas. If your orange doesn't show up very much, you could add a dab of white into it.
Valerie, if you don't unmute yourself, we can't pin you.
How is that?
Great.
There you go.
That's good.
The spotlight should be on now.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I thought I was on mute, but I'm good. Thank you.
Do we dry the snack? Obviously.
Yes. Or let's wait for a minute because we can put the yellow on and then dry both the orange and the yellow at the same time. So we're just going to paint the pure yellow and
Right.
put it in a number of areas. Pure yellow. You can pick up a little more yellow on your brush because it kind of fades in a bit. You can also add some of that yellow with smaller dots just at the very bottom. It's starting to fill in really nicely now. At this point, with the same brush that had the yellow on it, you can add a little bit of white to that and make a green, a light green, which you can add to the bottom. It's looking good. If you have time, you can now do another layer on your red.
Bless you.
You can see how the red is starting to pop because it's thicker.
Right.
And for a little blow drying. I think we can put one of the trees on. So to get more control, I'm going to use a smaller brush head. This is a 1/4 inch flat, but I'm sure that you will be able to do this with any brush that you have. And I'm going to use pure white and swoop up right to the top. And I'm trying not to make it too thick. I'm bringing it down into some of that foliage that we made here at the bottom.
Can you hold it up so I can see, is it straight? Is it like a straight line? Okay, thank you.
And it's never going to be really straight
No,
because there are no straight lines in nature, so that's okay.
Okay.
If it's a little bit crooked, that's even better. Okay, now for tree number 2. This one will go right from the bottom to the top. And it could lean a little bit towards the right. I had a little bit of the color come up into the tree from the paint underneath, and that's okay. The third tree will be quite thin and come from about 3/4 of the way down to the top and lean right over. The fourth tree will lean a little bit towards the center. And it starts right at the bottom. And it has a branch. I'm going to try to keep the branch thinner than the tree. That's my aim. So I want to get the tree a little thicker here. And the last birch will be quite close to the other tree so that they're all different widths apart. You can be quite generous with the amount of paint that you use on the tree. Now, we have to create a shady side to the trees. So I'm going to add the tiniest bit of blue to my white. So it's not very dark. And then I'm going to have to decide which side the sun is coming from. So I'm going to imagine that it comes from here. So I will make this side of the trees a little bit darker. We don't have to dry the trees yet because we can put in the black trees. For this, you will need a thinner brush. And I put it there in the center.
Can you hold it up so I can see where the blue is?
Yes.
It's much lighter than mine. It's just like a shadow.
Just a little shadow.
Thank you.
Now, you can get your finest brush, your detail brush, make it a little bit wet, and then get some of the black and do another thin tree close to the other black tree. And go behind that birch and behind the other birch. And you can have a branch or two. Then dip the detail brush in again into the water and add another little bit of black. And you can come to the left side of the painting and put in a little tree. Who remembers Bob Ross and his happy little trees?
Not me, not born yet.
I put a little branch to the side there.
Can you hold it up again, please? Ah, thank you.
I'm going to make some of the markings on the tree. So they don't have to be any specific shape or form because every mark and every tree is different. But I do want the paint to be able to slide around. So I'm going to take my black paint and then kind of make a slightly messy kind of a black mark on this side of the tree. And then put lines, little interesting lines, some of them close together, some of them wider, some of them a little bit, and not too many, just a few to get the idea that there are these markings on the tree. And you could do sort of harsh lines and soft lines. And you can also put, for example, a black outline just for beauty along one of the trees or a couple of the trees, just to have it stand out a little bit more. This is a very pleasurable part of the painting because it sort of starts bringing it together and bringing it to life. And add a little bit more water to your brush. When you have finished that part, you can cover the tops of the tree trunks with a little bit of foliage, so you can put some green or red leaves on top. Now for a very interesting part, we can bring some of the foliage across the trees so that there is some foliage in front of the tree. So I'll start with some of this red over here. And just do it right over the tree, adding some red foliage. And some of the tree beside it. And some perhaps across the black tree. And because you have red on your brush, you can also do another coat of red on your red foliage. When that is complete, you can start to do the same and put another coat of bright yellow on it, on the yellows. Nice and thick. Now you can add a little bit of white to some green and add some really light leaves. We left this nice spot on the left at the lower bottom, which is dark. And that is the perfect place to put your signature. You can choose any color you like for your signature, white or red, or the blue. You might want to keep your brush a little wet to do that part. But not as wet as I just did.
We never went over the orange. Is that okay?
It depends if you like the color.
Right.
And if it's bright enough for you. I
Yeah.
had put a lot of white into it, so it actually stands out quite a bit.
Okay.
But if you think you'd like it to stand out more, maybe add a little more white to your orange.
Okay.
This is a great time if you have any questions to ask me, if you would like to type them into the chat, please.
How many people do you have in a class?
I'm not really sure.
Because a lot of them are full by the time I get there.
Yeah, we have 30 people who joined this workshop today.
Okay.
But we had, I think, 50 sign up. So that's why it was sold out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of others that I couldn't get in for. Well, not a lot, but a couple.
Yeah, sometimes they sell out pretty quickly. But yeah, if you send us an email, we can always try and make an extra spot for you if you'd like.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
I hope you love your painting. I'm sure you do. And that you have enjoyed doing it.
I have.
So Valerie, we have a question in the chat. Sarah is asking, do you varnish this or treat it when it is finished?
Yes, you wait about a month, 3 weeks to a month, and then you can buy some, if you like it glossy, some glossy acrylic varnish and then spray it. You should always spray your acrylic, or let me rephrase that. You should always varnish, whether you do it with a spray or with a brush varnish. You should always varnish your paintings so that the paint doesn't collect dust.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
Valerie, we're just getting some comments in the chat saying thank you for the workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could you just comment, please, on the pacing?
I'm fine now.
Was it too fast, too slow, or just okay?
I was a little bit slower than you've, just for the background.
Okay. Thank you so, so very much for coming out and joining me today.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Thanks, Valerie. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Enjoyed being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting this great workshop, Valerie. We really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
You.
You,
Thanks,
please come
Valerie.
back.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
Keep
day.
it great.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.